It's the time to get down.
Ladies and gentlemen, think we're ready to make that transition. Morning coffee. Yes.
Wake up, it's a brand new day. Let's get down on the good news train. Have your morning coffee with Mario every Monday. Get the 311 before the morning's done. Laugh until you cry. You can always rely on morning coffee with Mario every Monday. Morning coffee with Mario.
Hey there. Welcome to Morning Coffee. You know, you guys, some mornings are crazy technology. My phone is ringing right now, and I can't answer it. And y'all know how that goes. And it was something they were calling me back about technical. So what can I say? Every morning's like that. We want to thank you for hanging in there, dealing with us. You know, it's those updates. I don't know about you, but the updates keep us busy. They keep us busy doing things. Let me turn this down a little bit. And then we have to always be dealing with updates. So this morning with Pax Stereo TV, stuff was not working. And so we just now fixed it. And so we are live on air. Wow. Man, I'm telling you. So it's hard to get. So it's going to be a wonderful day. It's a wonderful day. We got a full show for you this week. We got the news in which there's so much to talk about the president and this wonderful weekend performance overseas. Today, he's been in this meeting with Putin, who kept him waiting almost an hour. Already the stuff is coming out. So the day the president meets with Putin, he's already meeting. The question is, we know who's blowing who. I'll say it again. We know who's blowing who, and I'm sure it's Putin who's looking down on Donald's orange head. So I'm just saying that's why the translators are just going. It's that kind of day. That's what's going on. That's the kind of weekend it was. We also had the World Cup coming to I watched a bunch of soccer, of which I am now a real fan and developing some worldwide favorites. So Mbappe on the French team, got to give it up for the folks in the soccer world. So we got a full show today, a full week of things coming up. Nick's got the new Sportz and the hot picks.
Yep.
What you got today, my brother?
Well, let's see. How can I talk about it? Let me see. Should I work with it? Should I walk with it? I'll just try to walk with it a little bit. Mario, I think the part that's going to happen here is that I have to kind of digest that the World Cup is gone. And right now, we have to kind of marvel in the USA's absence. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit, only because it only comes every 4 years, and they've already got the odds on who's going to be favored next 4 years from now, I guess. And the USA's odds are, well, let's find out later. Also, LeBron's brand is in full effect. Summer League Lakers are undefeated. Does that mean anything? Also, hot picks. We say la vie to the Miss America bikinis no more, and we pay homage to those the last several years because you won't see it through that pageant anymore.
No more bikinis.
No more bikinis, man.
Because it's considered objectifying.
Some people like to be objectified. Some people say,
there's times for it.
It's unnecessary power and control over men operating their yum, 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 whatever. Whatever they want to call it, man. I ain't mad. I just now know if you replace that, what do you replace it with? Is it now focused on talent? Well, you might as well just have an American Idol with empowerment, right?
You know, this is what happens. You know, as the pendulum swings, we have to go through periods of confusion where we are actually confused. So right now, I admit, it's a difficult time. We can work this out and work through this. At least y'all will. I don't know about me. A little old. But y'all will work through this because it's being redefined. Right, Vic? It's being redefined. The roles are being redefined, the way we look at each other. Yet, you know, it's interesting. More women themselves are hitting on guys which have all the traits, the ways they're doing it. Some of it seems as bad as what guys used to do to women. You know, you have women that walk up and grab guys, grab them in the noodles. You know, this is what, so, you know, the dating thing is obviously changed because of all of those things have changed. Telling y'all my stuff. You know, I tried to hit everybody back that we had to hit technically before the show. But of course, none of that hits till we go live on the air. So they are returning. So
True.
So that's just like the dating world too. So Vic, I don't know. Are we supposed to like contests where women are in? I understand the part about objectifying women, even though I would say there are those moments where we must objectify them. We just want them to have not to suffer through that, especially in professional, right? It's got to be annoying in professional. It's got to, you know, I equate it to dealing with racial issues in the workplace, whatever.
It is very difficult, and then when we get to that segment, it's a different perspective from women. Because I'm going to pose a question, I don't want to give it away yet, as it relates to this decision. And it's not about, well, you know, what the men want to see. It'll be more important about looking at these photos and then being able to evaluate it from this perspective. I don't want to tell you anything yet. I will wait till it gets there.
Well, that's why it at least brings us to the subject of today's morning wake-up. The subject of today's morning wake-up is, what do you want as your role in today's modern relationship? What do you want? How do you want to be treated? Are you old school? Do you want men to pay? Because there is issues all over the place. A lot of the young men rejecting those roles, as they should. But then a lot of the young girls are also complaining that guys never take them out. Never buy them flowers. And I'm going, well, when did you buy flowers? And when's the last time you took somebody out? Oh. So the whole issue of today's morning wake-up and the comments we want to get from some of you all, feel free to join in the chat room, is how do you want to be treated? Because that is the issue. I know, Vic, I'm old school. Vic, how do you see your role in today's dating world? How do you navigate that today?
First of all, we're not gonna win on this because our reasoning is from the position of a man, and because you've always been in that position of a man, you're going to be biased by gender, no matter what.
I'm gonna work hard though. I'm gonna try.
I'm just saying, man, it's not gonna work, man, because you have to think of something that women do that have absolute control over men, that they have to acquiesce to and say, you know, we have to do it. This is just the way it is, and it's an abusive part of your lifestyle that's in it. And if you haven't had that experience, it's gonna be hard for you to have this roll with it, man, because...
Are you dodging the question?
No, I'm just telling you can't do it. You can't do it. What's your argument?
Well, I'm saying, what do you prefer? Because it's not a question of right or wrong. And I noticed in the chat room, we have a wide variety already, because we got Monique, we got Mac, we got Serena, so we got PMC. So we already got a wide variety of folks. I'm just saying, for you, in your dating world, how do you see, because it's not a right or wrong thing, Vic. I'm saying, what is it that you're used to? And how do you play that role? And meanwhile, I'll fire up.
Right,
I'll fire up a little something.
Hey, look, far as I'm concerned, the dating world has been very, very good. You know, you can pull out.
Is he beating around the bush?
No, it's
the
very
dating. Nobody asked him to evaluate the dating world. But you
referenced the dating world, how you would want to. So once you opened up that can of worms, you put in the context of that, whereas this is a different subject when we talk about hot picks. It's a little bit different.
Right now, I'm not talking about the hot picks.
Right,
I'm just saying right now,
right.
Simple, straight question.
Right.
How do you see the roles? Because it's a preference.
I love it. I love the roles.
What roles? It's a preference. What roles?
Are you talking about from a man's perspective?
He makes it hard, ladies and
right.
gentlemen. From your personal Victor Allen perspective.
I love the roles.
What roles?
I love the role of being the man who has to say, I am a man, that I am positive, I'm focused, I know what I want, I like. I'm not going to shy away that I do love a beautiful woman. Physically, a magnet to me. I love all that part of it. I have no problems at all. I love this whole thing about it. I found no complaints whatsoever. I like the empowerment of the women.
That's not the question, because the point was to say which roles you'd prefer, which are different. Because, when you say the roles or the man roles, no one knows exactly what you mean, because different ages, different groups.
Right.
That's what they do. I get it. So it's a difficult question. I'll go first on that. I know that I have enjoyed what were previously what they would call traditional roles, where men were paying for everything and had to initiate everything, and women would play this role, the coquette, where they would play this role where they would be, reserved, and they wouldn't be forward and aggressive sexually. You were the sexual aggressor. You came at them, and they could play the, oh no, not yet, sir. It's this whole thing that we did in my generation, which was, how people attempted to navigate. They don't do it that way today. Those are not today's roles of people in the dating age. Let's just say 18 to 25 or 28.
You're talking about the old-fashioned role.
So I'm saying the question I was asking is, what were people preferring? So my point that I was making, I was also to make an observation, because of where the generation I came from, and women played that roles. I also had a chance to date, because of the way my mentality is. I had a chance to date some of the very more liberated women, more empowered women. I dated a number of round-the-way girls and a number of professionals. So I got a chance to see how they all handled some of those flavors. And one of the things that we found, and we used to discuss this back then, is that, I know I'm going to get some shit for this, no matter how professional they were, no matter how much money they made, they still wanted me to play that role. That's the generation I came from. They might have a better house than mine, a better car than mine, more money than me. Because that's the part that we used to laugh at. Because I used to say, hey, ain't this, after the third date, why ain't it 50-50? When you making as much money, you a doctor or something too. What's the deal? It might be different when, but that's the thing. Whether or not, first of all, men had to pay. And I know the young dudes are not embracing that, and that's the one thing I like about what the young. I always pay, but I resent it when you expect that. I like it when it was my idea. I always paid, but I wanted it to be my idea, and it particularly would piss me off when I would meet those females who would act like they had it coming. And that is common. Okay? It's like, oh, I deserve a man to take me to Europe. Really? And what did you do to deserve that? Just being? So that's what I was questioning, because it's come up.
I expect from you stepping up next.
I hate that. I hate that shit.
Wait a minute. No. But if you're on the other side and you're the guy that goes like this, every time I get with somebody, meet someone, baby, we hitting it off like right away. We straight going to the romance, and that's what you're used to. Should you expect that as a man? Because That's what I'm used to. I said, be careful. I believe that people have to be able to change their lane to get the best results and not just wait and be a closed mouth, because your experiences you may take 1 or 2 experiences and then it formulates your whole mindset, but you've only met 5 or 6 people. You probably only dated 20 people. So I agree with Mario. I love the old school. Love that whole thing. But then sometimes Mario's going to run into that, which he has. He's going to run into that woman that's going to go like this. Put that money back in your pocket. I got this. He says,
Yeah, I don't run into that. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did. Wait,
no.
put that-
No.
Yes, you did. You're going like this.
No,
I got
don't.
this.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
No. Just
No.
baby, enjoy the ride, baby.
No.
I'm from a different box. I'm cut from a different box.
It's been a long time coming.
You got it, man.
I'm sorry. Even the best of them. No, here's what the best of them do. On your birthday, for the holidays, they give you great gifts for your birthday. They think it all out. They may take you away for a weekend. But let's not talk about the day.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you this.
The day. I'm sorry.
Are you a hunter?
I ain't had none of them ones
Watch
like
this.
that.
Watch this. Are you a hunter? Watch this.
Yeah, I'm an alpha male.
Are you a hunter?
Yeah, well, I used to be. Now I'm like a spaded cat.
See,
I
that's
just
what
go
I'm
out in the front porch and try to figure out why I went out there.
See, this is what I'm
I
saying.
just stand around. And shit.
See, if you ask this
Well, I'm supposed to
question,
be doing something.
if you ask this question 20 years, 25, whatever, totally different. But now your perspective has changed. And so now you go, I don't want to. Those days are gone. It's to me like when I run into, which will have a lot to do with one of the subjects today, where I said, imagine the people that used to be in the Miss America pageant couldn't wait to say, look at how fine I am. Now they're 25, 30 years older. They're producers and directors of the pageant. You know what? We don't need to be showing that skin anymore. Although they did it, that's it. You didn't complain then, did you? If it wasn't an advantage, you would not participate.
But that's confusing too. See, this is a rant moment. In the wake up part of the show, we do ranting. Okay, so I recently went out. I know I'm going to get shit for this. So I get hit on more by younger women. Okay, for whatever reason. They hit on me. So I recently went out with a young woman. Man, titties just all out. Just all out. I mean, but when you see her, all her pictures, that's the way she dresses every day.
You have a problem?
She doesn't. She's not that she's very much endowed. She's actually rather modest, but she's always got the little halters on, the little thing. And I told her, because we're friends. I said, you got titties out. She said, "Oh, yeah." And I'm wearing this for the summer. I'm wearing more titties out.
You want to lodge a complaint?
I'm like. That's what she was like. Are you complaining? Are you complaining?
Right.
And see, I'm old school. I said, no, I'm not complaining. I'm just confused.
Wait a minute.
Just confused.
What are you confused about?
I'm confused because I'm not sure how to interpret your titties out. And then we going all out. And she said, well, people are looking at me. I say, well, your titties are all out. And, you looking, you fine. You're a fine young woman. You got your titties out. We're hanging out. You with the older doctor. So it's going to attract attention. Mm-hmm. But then my thing is you could have dressed differently, but like you said, that's the way.
Wait a minute. The message is Mario saying this. Could you please cover up a little bit?
No, because I'm not stupid.
What are you saying?
Because she was like, I'm like.
What are you saying?
I'm like saying I'm just.
What are you saying?
I'm acknowledging that I am adjusting to the time.
What does that mean?
That means that it's part of today's world that your titties are out.
So what does that mean?
Because I look around, all the girls' titties. It ain't like she's showing more titty than all the other people out here. They all showing titty and ass.
Right.
It's just on parade. It's summer in Los Angeles.
And
it's overload.
So you had
visual overload.
It's right.
It's like, God.
I got it.
Woo.
You know what?
Lord,
I remember one of our last parties. I remember Mario got on the DJ mic because he was DJing as he was running shit. And he said, okay, time out. It's too much. This is about 20 years. Too much titties out here. We have to stop the show. We have to end it early. Okay. That's what Mario was doing
I'm
back in the day.
confused.
That's what he was doing. Right. Come on, man.
that's what the point I was making about the young people and how they do things differently.
Okay.
When I'm out with young ladies, young ones, they dress provocative and they are more forward themselves about what they want.
What about older women if they dress like that?
Older women too.
So
all women are more upfront about what they want.
There you go.
Okay, all of
That's
them,
what I'm
everybody,
talking about.
they all coming with now. They thank for their wonderful liberation.
You want to be a Republican? See, that's what I'm saying. Is I know what you're
Talk for a
missing.
minute.
All right. Look, I got what he's saying. What he's saying is he's in a different place
Hello?
now. And being in a different place,
Hello?
just like most people, I hate to say this, everybody goes through that curve where they go when you're in your late
this is Mario. I'm
teens,
in a
your
meeting, but I'm still gonna
20s,
talk to you
even into your
soon.
30s. Everything's a party.
I mean,
Look hot,
that's-
be hot,
You hear stuff in the
are hot.
background.
Then once you exhaust all that and the lifestyle starts
Well, I
changing,
know we need to schedule.
and
this
I
stuff,
always
so
said that
everything's
the
a yes.
hunter, once he sits there and says, hey, I got all the game, you know, the preserve sat there,
Yes.
I got history, I've done my work,
Right.
I want to chill right now. I absolutely believe you have to evolve. But I also say, don't forget you played the game.
Well,
And if
that's
you
fine.
don't
Tomorrow I still have my
indict
pre-op and all that
those who are going,
up there.
let me enjoy the game I'm
On
in
Wednesday.
for the
Oh, yeah.
moment I'm in. And some
Wednesday,
people sometimes go, I didn't do a lot of that
Thank you very much.
dressing sexy or provocatively in my early years, so maybe they start doing it in their later years. So I always believe that people evolve. So there was a day where Mario was going like this, true, and I'm gonna be true. He was going like, you covering up too much. You covering up, you got relax. Now he's in a different mind state, which I understand. He says,
Because I get all these looks. I agree. Everybody, I think it's, well, first me, the hair. And then if I'm out with some fine ass honey, everybody's like, oh, he's out with a fine ass honey. See, and I'm like, well, the honey would get attention anyway.
right.
Really, I have my hair and all that, and so whatever. It's dealing with all that. So that's my rant moment for the day is the dating and the fact that, you know, the dating roles. Even though I will say this. Dating the younger girls, which is amazing, there's some perks that you wouldn't think. It's not so much the sexual perk, other than maybe because you're dealing with a more pleasant-looking person, body and all that, younger and all that. But for the same reasons, the older woman has usually the mentality and intellect that makes them much more attractive too. So maybe those things balance each other out. So it's really, I just say that it's different. One of the things that's kind of different is that the young women seem to appreciate you spending money a little more because the young guys don't. You know, I'm talking about the ones that are like 25, 30, 25, 35. Young guys are not spending like they used to.
You know, women were complaining back in the day when you was that mad hunter. You know that, right? You know they were complaining, going like, Mario, am I that important to you? See, they were doing it, dude.
See, part of the wake-up call today, we have to turn it age. Yes, see, what happens, and I want everybody, because this part hasn't changed. When that 30 to 35-year-old range on females, and we have friends, for our buddies in that range, okay? They're working. Some of them are very professional, too. That is the age that women are really a trip, okay? Because it's the marriage thing. I remember when I was 30, 28 actually, for the next 15 years, every woman I met wanted to marry me. That's what Dick's talking about. Everybody wanted to get married. Now, I don't know, you might say, Mario, that's me, you doctor, all that. Maybe, but to me, a bunch of them just wanted to be married. That was part of my complaint. I was saying, well, hell, you want to be married, and I'm looking for a woman who wants to be my wife. Big difference. Big difference. I have no problems with getting married. I just want, not so much looking for a woman who wants to be married. I'm looking for a woman who wants to be my wife. Me in particular. So that was part of that. Now, as it turned out, I didn't marry anybody.
Okay.
But the bad thing about that is that I don't regret it. I don't regret it. And I don't regret it. And I get the whole check. No alimony, no child support. Yep, it's me and Uncle Sam.
So you just communicating.
What's the saying?
You just communicating to women.
Me and
that
Uncle Sam, Mac.
You
It's
like
me and Uncle
old.
Sam.
Watch what he just did. He said, "I like old school, but I'm not committing." So that's what you.
I
just,
never was committed. Shit, that's why I'm single
right.
at my age.
Right.
I never was
So you
commitment.
standing up for old
I
school.
admit it, commitment.
Wait a minute. Standing up for old school with conditions. So the women are going.
I would not even stand up for old school. I'm saying the old school women need to, these bunch of them, chill on the baggage.
Oh, there you go.
But you can recognize you have the benefit of your maturity. And that is beautiful into itself. As an older brother, what I love about dating age-appropriate women is that they understand me better. They understand how I relate to the world. And as Sinbad said, I need somebody who can recognize a stroke.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
if I start talking funny and drooling, the young girl might say, "Hey, what you acting silly for?"
Right. Wow.
Sinbad said, I need someone who can recognize the signs and symptoms.
Wow.
and attend to my, that's terrible. So, whatever. But I will say the part about young women that I actually like more than I expected was their lack of baggage. Because, you know, now that I've been out with a 25-year-old, they not bugging you about getting married. It's not on their radar so much yet. If they're 25, they're trying to be happening too. So that's the one thing young girls bring, that and you know, surprising innocence and naivete. Surprising innocence, and they do wear. I had a girl show up for a date with me. She essentially had on a bikini underneath a crochet outfit.
Wow. That's deep.
Can you imagine? I wish I could show you a picture.
Was it nice? Was it a
Oh,
nice?
beyond nice.
Okay, then.
It was.
No problem.
It's one of those rare moments where you thank God, because you know we thank God sometimes, men, for some very decadent things. You know, because when you man, you actually pray for pussy.
Well,
You
there
be
goes-
praying. You say, "Dear Lord, why can't I get something out here,
Oh,
please?"
He was doing good.
I'm just saying.
Went to the dungeon.
They did. Sometimes they do. Man, I'm just saying. It happens. We do that. And so we go through phases. Just being honest here this morning to wake up. we go through phases. So if you're lucky, you grow. And then things change. There you go. That's today's morning wake up, everybody. Dating and what it means. All right, here's the latest slideshow animation. We'll be right back. I don't know why I did that.
Been a long time since I spoke to you. And I know that there's no rhyme or reason to what you put me through. So I take your promises and all the memories,
Man, this
and I play them back 'cause I can't breathe. But you are so captivating, and you are the answer to my dream. You are the only reason
Ice on the Body Heat.
And I know of all the pieces when you speak to me. And I know of all the
Take a look at this character here. That's Miko's, one of Miko's characters, new characters featured in this week's Hot Picks of the Week slideshow animation. Hey, Vic,
Yeah.
tell them a little bit about this whole new level of role play that's happening with you guys on the I, Victor. Because that's what that slideshow was. That was Miko's
That-
latest character,
Miss Shirley.
Miss Shirley.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, you know what? All the time people, usually I said, what is this about? And I said, well, actually, it's role play, real life scenarios, enacted through characters that may or may not be slowly developed. So in other words, there may be a week where I'm just me. I'm just Vic. And then depending on the subject, to me, it's like your friends visiting. You may sit back and go and get an unexpected visitor, and their character is on display, but it's your friend, it's your family. So sometimes you get surprises in life, and you says, well, how can you plan to tell people what's coming up? Treat it as if, like, all of a sudden, who came over today? Uncle Charles or Miss Shirley. And so Miko and I have this agreement, as opposed to last year, that there will be characters in the room. We don't tell each other who's coming, because you got experiences where you got friends that knock on your door and show up. You got family that do that, and you got girls that do that. I'm not going to get into that. So what we do is enact it spontaneously, because there's times where you yourself may go, I'm not in the mood today. And then sometimes you go like, oh, I'm glad you visited. And then sometimes you got the asshole on the block, and sometimes you got Mr. Cool. So all of this is improvisation. And so we're flushing out characters that are a reflection of either our personalities or someone close we know, but it's all real. That's basically the premise of it. And to see that if we do start engaging guests on the show, do they clearly understand that that's the role, to bring a character, not them just going, I can sing, I can act, I can interview me. No, bring a character, define it, and have it connected to what you're doing, and that's what we're doing.
Because one of the many questions that I get, and ladies and gentlemen, I get many questions as I move about the milieu out there. One of the many questions I get is, Mario, I don't understand I, Victor. I don't understand it. And I said, I tell them, Vic, I always tell them.
I know you do.
First of all, it gets good numbers. Second of all, I have an attitude that I'm getting old. And I don't think my opinion always matters. In fact, I think sometimes, based on the hits that are out there, because I pay attention to pop culture and I pay attention to what's popular.
Yeah.
And based on that, I recognize that my opinion doesn't mean shit. It doesn't. So I will produce things based on people, right? We meet people, we meet ideas, and we specifically, when you get creative people, you don't lock them into a formula. One of the things that Victor had to do with I, Victor, which we said is design a show, because everybody was so busy.
Right.
Victor Allen had to design a show where you could just show up
Yep.
and you go live.
Yep.
Show up and go live. No, because couldn't get no rehearsals.
No. Can't do anything.
Can't send out any
No.
pre-scripts.
No.
Canes, it's all shooting from the hip.
Right. That's right. Because look, it's a playground. It's a playground. It's a reality playground, and they do this in the industry. I said, they don't know who's coming some of the time. They just go, "Are you guys here for the?" And then you go do your little thing if you're going into acting or something in entertainment.
Well, that's why I wanted that.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
They don't know you coming.
No.
They say, just show me what you got. That's it.
So Christine and Celeste, Sarah, that's what the show's about.
It's right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I say,
I don't know. People always ask me, Mario, what is it about? I go, I don't know. And you know, one of the things is that one of my musical mentors, I never met him, but more than music, was George Clinton. Not Bill Clinton, George Clinton, the father of funk, grandfather of funk, in which he was the one who famously said, "Smell my finger."
Yep, he did.
He talked about doing nonsense.
Yeah.
Nonsense. And so, ladies and gentlemen, there are some things that we do.
That is nonsense.
That is nonsense.
It happens all
Happens
the time.
all the time.